They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie or the laughter? Hold your tongue.
I conducted an experiment where I went on OnlyFans and did a live for a whole 2 hours, and we're gonna talk about this. I'm Marian de la Croix, also known as Piper Blush, and we have some feedback here. Yep, okay, cool. The author of Why Submissive Women Are Happier, because I asked myself why submissive women are happier and found out that I was the answer to this question. Welcome to the Happy Submissive podcast, where we talk about all of the experiments I undergo, about the hate mails I receive, because there are some of those. It can be comments too. And of course, everything in relationship to relationships, to gender wars, and to happiness. You can listen to the Happy Submissive podcast wherever you get your podcast. Yeah, just ask for it on your smart speaker or, well, on your podcast player. We are broadcasting live at 9 a.m. Pacific time from Monday to Friday on YouTube. Yeah. If you miss us, aren't there for us, just click subscribe, you'll get notified. But make sure you turn on your notifications because this is live. And on Sunday, there is the Sunday brunch, which is a longer, extended version of the Happy Submissive podcast, where we have guests. And the upcoming Sunday would be Liam Peters, the author of Thinking with the Wrong Head. He's going to be here with us in the studio, and he is going to answer all the questions about his book. And he has another one coming up in about 5 months. So Liam is, a certified idiot, as he said. I didn't say that. And Thinking with the Wrong Head, of course, is penis, right? We all got that? Okay, great. So Liam is going to be in studio with us on Sunday, and we will have the live chat enabled, so everybody can ask live questions, comments, whatever you want to pass through. We'll be able to do it on this Sunday. Yes. Okay, wonderful. Now, what else did I have to say? I'm getting better at my introduction. We also have someone in the studio with us. I'm not alone to do this show. And since we go over gender topics, yes, female, male. Well, there's a male with us. How are you?
Thank you. I was shocked.
You were shocked?
Yeah, yesterday.
Shocked by...
Yeah, your experiment.
By the experiment?
Yeah, I can't wait for you to tell.
To talk about it?
Yeah, because I was shocked.
It was shocking. It was shocking. The title of this episode is Why Men Who Say Show Your Holes Will Never Get a Submissive Wife.
All your holes.
Oh yeah, all your holes.
Yeah, and this confused me.
There's a lot of holes on the human body, and they wanted to see all of them. Not all at the same time, because camera angles can't do all of that all at the same time. But okay, let's go over the experiment, and let's go over what happened yesterday. Yesterday, what happened is that, well, I have a book, right? Why Submissive Women Are Happier. And I have this podcast. And I was like, well, okay, Piper Blush has all of these fans, and she's everywhere on the internet. I mean, she's on OnlyFans, she's on Pornhub, she's also on X, on Instagram. I mean, everywhere that I didn't lose an account, I am on. That does not include DeviantArt, which I was banned from. And Reddit, well, I opened another one recently, just to kind of active presence, but lost the Piper Blush name. I had so much karma on there. Yeah.
You were banned from Reddit Popcorn.
I was banned from Reddit Popcorn.
For telling people to put curcuma.
Yeah, curcuma. Yeah, turmeric, curcuma on popcorn. They banned me from Reddit Popcorn. I think it was, part turmeric, part self-promotion. They did not like that I was showing my version of the popcorn to the good popcorn people out there. So they legit banned me. And I was also banned more recently with Marian de la Croix and myself for like my author profiles and things like that from stupid questions. Yeah. They banned me on there.
There's no stupid question. I was banned from stupid questions.
I was banned from there's no stupid questions. Yeah. So just so you know.
What was the question?
Well, I was testing the waters and I was wondering like if other people had the same type of dynamic or relationship, like master sub relationship. So I was asking women if they were happy in their like I'm gonna say normal relationship with their men.
That was a stupid question.
It seems it was like a really stupid question.
Being banned from Reddit, no stupid question.
Yeah, so I was banned from Reddit, no stupid question, because I guess I asked the stupid question.
You won. You won the prize.
I should win a prize, huh? Yeah. I should totally win a prize for no stupid question. So yeah, we got that over with. It's fine. I'm banned now. Let's not like so many internal conflicts. Yesterday went on OnlyFans. My free account. I have two accounts, like Piper Blush and Piper Blush Free. Went on the free one because I wanted more people, right? Wanted more people to be there to experiment. So went on there and I went on there. Let me give you like a... went on there to play strip blackjack. Not strip poker, but strip blackjack. And I went on there like most girls, because you told me this, like most girls when you play strip poker, they arrive like fully dressed.
Yeah, fully. Yeah, with too much.
Too much clothes, right? Because they never want to show.
Well, it's for tease.
So exactly. So I arrived on my live feed fully dressed. Like I had this hat on. It's like a big summer hat. I had glasses. I mean, I had like 3 shirts on, one jean vest coat on. I even had socks on, but no shoes, don't worry. So I put all of this on, and then I started the live, and there was like 3 viewers. Yeah, 3 viewers is not a lot, right? Especially when you have like almost 11,000 followers on my OnlyFans account, the free one. So I started it that way, and I was like, okay, I think like we were assessing that the problem was that I was way too dressed, and I was competing with girls that were probably stuffing dildos in all their holes like right now. So I need to lose a bit of clothes to keep this audience and actually get to them and talk to them. And when I'm saying audience, I mean like male. It's only guys, right? So OnlyFans has this live feature that allows you to go live, but it's very different than camming. OnlyFans is not really made for that, like for camming. It's just like that extra thing. So you can tip on there. You can definitely tip. Minimum tip is $5. Just so you know, I'm educating you right now on the ways of the OnlyFans. And I went on there. We coded this this strip blackjack game. So every time somebody gave $5, they were able to deal a hand. That's how it worked. So every time we would get like a hand dealt, and then if they won, I would strip. So take 1 piece of clothes off. And if I won, I would keep my clothes on. Okay, tell me, have you ever played strip poker? I want to know in a comment right here, right now.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie or the laughter?
Thank you for listening to the Happy Submissive podcast. I'm your host, Marian de la Croix, aka Piper Blush, all over the internet. And we are talking of the experiment I made of going live on OnlyFans to, well, sell my book, for one, to tell all my fans that I was doing this podcast, that is safe for work and on YouTube, but also to assess male dominance on the internet. Yeah, because it is completely different. And that's what I realized yesterday. like, first part was that I arrived there fully dressed. So, of course, there wasn't that many people. Lost a few parts of clothes. And, of course, there was more and more people as I was losing, right? So, as much as people were putting in money, and I was losing pieces of clothes, like any type of strip, more people were there. We got to what, like 32 people, 32 viewers in real time. For the whole of the thing. Didn't advertise it at first, didn't do anything, just went on, pressed play, and started broadcasting. First thing that happened was that, well, the first 2 comments, one of them was like, hey, how are you? That's nice, fairly good. The other thing was, are you gonna show your... Where's that thing? Yeah, that. So that was the other comment. Like, are you gonna show your holes? Are you gonna spread? Are you gonna like do something? So that was this like second comment. And then as the game went on and as there were more people, there was a lot of asking. And when I'm saying asking, I mean like real asking. Like, oh, do this, do that, show me more, like masturbate, like all of these really, I guess you could say crude in English, but really just like sexual things. And if you're like, oh, why are you so like surprised? You were on OnlyFans, girl. Yes, I know. I know it's on OnlyFans. I know it's meant for sex. That's not what I'm assessing here. The whole point of the experiment was to see, well, the difference between when I meet men in real life that have actually seen me naked already, because met somebody that actually saw me naked from my time on The Art of Blowjob. And when I met him real life, he was shy. And the first thing he said is, oh, you're so much more intimidating in real life. Still had the courage to come and talk to me. And we still had a chat and took a selfie together. And he was nice. I mean, he offered to pay me a drink and I was with a girlfriend. So he wanted to get us out and of course have sex with us. Like, I mean, I understand that part. But he was nice at the beginning. He didn't just ask, hey, show your holes. It didn't go that way. So the internet and sites like OnlyFans and like all the other cam sites out there, and not YouTube per se, because YouTube is actually like, it's more censored, right? It's not meant for porn, okay? But still, like, I did lives on TikTok, I did lives on Instagram, and would still get some of like, take your clothes off. I'm on TikTok. I can't just like take my clothes off. And we all know that Twitch kind of became that, right? So it's a thing. Sex sells, and on the internet, every platform just becomes a sex platform at some point or in some area. Like OpenAI and ChatGPT, which is coming 18 plus. So sex is part of life and I love it, but it's mostly what it's doing to men and women who are using it. And so I had all of these comments of all of these men, and most of them were just being really dominant, but in a weird way, right? Because you're there, you're anonymous. You have like no picture. There's one guy that had his picture and you're not sure it's really him, but it looked genuine. Quite frankly, it looked like a real picture. So this guy is comfortable enough to have his picture there and to talk with his picture and his pseudo, which is probably not his name. I mean, so they're all there and they have this disguise of anonymity, and also they have this non-consequential, so you're on the internet. You can ask whatever. If the girl doesn't do it, doesn't mind. You're not going to get like shamed for it.
That reminds me of the book, Liam Books, Thinking with the Wrong Head. So they were thinking with the wrong head.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, especially
show me your holes. This is the wrong head.
This is the dick. This is definitely the dick. Show me your hole is the dick talking. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you're on OnlyFans. You're on Pornhub.
But why? Like, why is it like that? Well, why? Just why?
Why is it that men will go there and be like that when they're not like that in reality? When like no man is gonna get, and that's the theme of the podcast, is gonna get a submissive girl if the first thing you ask her is just show me your holes. No girl is gonna stay there. They're gonna run away. Like
I have to say, back in 1997 or something like that, they were like some kind of chat room like that, and I never said that to a girl.
Yeah.
Never. Hey, hi, how you doing? No, take it slow or something. I never said like right away, but I don't think it's totally the man's fault.
Yeah.
Why they do that?
Well, why they do that? So they do that because, again, on platforms like OnlyFans or like all these webcam platforms, or even just like where you can actually message a porn star, a girl. So you are paying for a service, right? So the more you ask, usually the more you get. That comes with a price tag, but it is a service, and the girls, they just want money. Some of them really love what they're doing. They really get like genuinely excited doing that, and those are the ones who usually make the most money. Is the one that really like sex for the sex, and they like for men to ask them that and to do that. But in the end, you're paying for them to show you more, and that's just it. So they create this kind of this kind of like new normal, right? That works on the web, but it's very hardly transferable to real life in that sense. Because if you see a woman in real life, like any woman, and you just ask her, okay, I'm going to give you $100. Can we have sex right now? I mean, she's going to say, I'm not a prostitute.
Even if she's scamming online.
Even if she's scamming online. Because then it becomes an exchange. And then it becomes this...
It's become real.
Yeah, it becomes real. You're like interacting with a real person. And not every woman that is either online, like the ones that do like sex work but online, that do camming or that sell their content online, they're not necessarily prostitute. There's different categories of women who sell sex. Yeah.
Of sex work.
And so it's not true that all porn stars would necessarily have sex for money with Johns, let's call it like that. Or it's not true that a strip teaser is going to have an OnlyFans account. Some do kind of cross reference, like cross post, cross platform. But in general, everybody has kind of their niche or kind of their own platform that they prefer in that way. So the thing here is that these men, they feel dominant, right? They feel like the more I ask, the more I do this like this, the more I am crude, and I say, yeah, just show me your holes, or yeah, I would like, where's that button again? I would all your holes. Well, that makes them feel dominant in a way that they're dominating this woman that is online and that is doing mostly her job. It's fun too, of course, but it is a job. I mean, they call it sex work. They don't call it sex fun. This is not how it's called. So
what do you do for fun? Sex work.
That's good. So what they're doing realistically is a service exchange. So they're faking submission for you to give them money. That's what it is, and it's like a magic trick, right?
Okay. If they're faking submission, do male fake domination?
Well, that's exactly the thing. So I don't think men are faking domination. I think they want to dominate, and I think that's what's happening when I'm there losing clothes when they give me money. I think that makes a lot of sense that men are like that. They are dominant. And they want to exude that the more possibly they can. And behind this veil of anonymity and porn sites and things like that, they can really go right for like thinking with the wrong head, right? They can really go into the penis and just like, okay, I'm just going to go full on sex. But what we're not realizing when we do that, and with like the availability of pornography and these things that are in our world right now, is that when you're doing that, this type of dominance, it's not real dominance. I mean, it isn't. We believe or want to believe it is, but it's not. If you're paying somebody, it's a form of dominance, right? Because you're paying her to do these things and she is doing them. So she is submitting to you and your money in that way. But is it true or is it fake? And that's the difference.
Yeah, who's faking?
Who's faking who? Who's submitting to who? Who's actually benefiting most from this transaction?
Who's dominate?
Who really dominates? Yeah, who really dominates in these circumstances? Because both parties have something that the other party wants. The girl wants the money. And the guy wants the sex. That's pretty simple. The easiest thing in the whole entire world is pretty much that. So it's a service exchange. Like I was saying, any transaction is a service exchange, and any exchange has a power exchange to it. It's a hierarchy. It's not because something is worth something that you're necessarily paying the right price for it. And let me explain that. It means that there is always a bigger winner in the exchange. It cannot be fairly square and equal. It never really is. That's why we have mediators. That's why we have people who deal. That's why we have lawyers. I mean, all of this goes on. And that's why you kind of, you want to negotiate. So on platforms like OnlyFans, where I was yesterday doing my live show, that was called Strip Blackjack. Well, I had all of these men. And again, this is not a criticism for all you men out there to not be dominant. What I'm trying to explain here is how these women on the internet are using you and how you're using them, and how this is not real dominance and it is not real submission. It's not what's gonna get you a woman in real life, especially not a submissive one. I mean, there is this exchange of you say what you want, you give the highest price you can, and then she does it or not. And then she gets the money she believes she needs to pay her rent, or that her sex or body is worth. That's pretty much it. It's as clean and simple as this. And then yesterday, so the more my clothes was coming off on the live, well, the more comments were going towards doing more. It's always doing more. Always, always, always. There's never enough, right? If I would have said, okay, for $10,000 I shave my head, I would have gained $10,000 to shave my head. But after they're shaving the head, they would have said, okay, now you need to do a gangbang. Okay, now it's always more. Just like in Idiocracy, that movie, or like with Mr. Beast. And at one point, always more becomes not you anymore. It's impossible to be like this person that does all these things. Even though one man might be behind the computer with a load of cash, and this girl might be willing to do anything for that load of cash, it's not going to be what she truly wants. It's just going to be for the money. And if you need money enough, well, you're probably going to do it. I'm fortunate enough that I don't. So I do whatever I want. But that's not the case for every woman out there. And I'm just trying to warn men that this type of submission might not be the submission you think it is. And maybe that has created a problem in society where men think that this type of dominance is real dominance, and then women think that this type of submission is real submission.
Like right now, you just receive a comment and it's hidden. And it says like, show your hole.
Oh.
You know, YouTube knows that this is not good.
That this is not the type of comments you want on here. So you tell me in a comment, yes, if you believe that pornography and like live cams and things like that have created or made the words dominant and submission completely different than what they used to be. Let's say before the avenue of pornography on the internet. Drop a comment, tell your friend that is beside you or your coworker, and let's start this conversation. And don't forget to hashtag Happy Submissive if you share this anywhere on your social media.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie or the
Thanks for listening to. Oh, I have this on.
I had this voice effect on. Thank you for listening to the Happy Submissive podcast, available wherever you listen to your podcast. Yes, any player does it. I'm your host, Marian de la Croix, also known as Piper Blush all over the internet, and we are talking about male dominance in the online world and how being a male alpha, if you want to call it like that, or being a male dominant on sites like OnlyFans, on live cams, in the chats, is definitely not gonna converge into you being a dominant male in real life. So you can try it, tap it, do it, break it, do whatever you want, but this is not a good way for you to practice dominance. And I mean, all these girls, like I was saying, whether it's on OnlyFans, like I was yesterday doing my live show and taking my clothes off, before I went, I had this idea what I was going to do. Like, it was an experiment. I love experiments, as most of you who know me do. because that's the best way to get like data, to get feedback, to know what works, what doesn't work, or just how people will react to what you're doing, and where you can get a certain type of people to do a certain type of thing. So if I'm here with you on YouTube right now, well, it's completely different that if I'm on my live on OnlyFans, right? Is completely different type of people. I'm not saying that those two don't cross over. Most men will watch pornography and have an OnlyFans account, even if they have wives and girlfriends. I know, they tell me about it, and that is fine. But that being said, it's very different the way men will behave on, well, let's say Facebook versus on OnlyFans, because OnlyFans is a platform for that. That's what you expect to get. But being there and trying to be a dominant male, and then at one point in the live comment, what happened is that one guy said, like, I will go in all your holes, and then the other guy just said the same thing, but like there was starting to be kind of a fight for dominance in the comment section. There was starting to be like, I'll just fill more. I don't have more holes, but it was still that. It was still like this fight for dominance in the comment section, and it's all virtual, right? I know we spend all of our time, almost all of it, even this podcast, is virtual. You're listening to it from thin air. I mean, from the internet, from my voice that is like being transported to you wherever you are in the world. I mean, this is crazy. But that doesn't remove the fact that it's a person. It's not a chatbot. This was real interaction with real men. It wasn't like a ChatGPT talking to me while I was taking my clothes off. That's not what was happening. It was real men, and I was a real woman there, and we were exchanging within that situation of the strip Blackjack. And for men to think that this works, and for it to be like an exutoire. So for it to be like, oh, I can be dominant there, and I can do whatever I want there, and be extreme there, well, I would have to say, be cautious about that. Be cautious about the anonymity and the extremeness and trying to be dominant there on the internet, and not in real life, in this real life way. Because, like I said, they will not translate. Not one will translate to the other. It doesn't work like that. So you're getting the wrong feedback. When a girl says, oh, yes, daddy, I want this, and you're paying her like $5, $10, however much you're paying her, she's not saying, yes, daddy, because you're dominating. She's saying, yes, daddy, to your $5. She's talking to your money. She's not talking to you. Not in that way. Well, that's not what I believe from all of my time with other sex workers, and with just like all the people I've encountered in that field, right? Most of women there are there for that, for your money. And you dominate them when you give them more money in that way. But then they leave. They're not there anymore. They don't want anything more from you than your money. That's it. So I had like a few points that I feel are interesting, like, and that is like how porn destroyed male dominance.
That's a good one. A good point.
It's a good point.
I can't wait to hear that.
Well, because for porn, to feel like dominance, or for the online world, it feels like, okay, dominance means sexual aggression, or it means being aggressive. It means a guy being like, yeah, I want this, or I want really like either, I'm gonna say rough sex, which is fine. A lot of people want rough sex, but it becomes this like, I demand something and I get it. Online, it's this, especially on these sites. So being crude means being dominant, and then like, this is the online version, right? This is the online version of dominance. Is the more sexually aggressive I am, and the more dick pics I send, the more dominant I am. But this is not how dominant men are in real life. Like, they're totally not like that. A man who is truly a dominant man has no issues, or very little like lack of confidence and lack of self-esteem and things like that. So a man who is confident within himself doesn't need to push that hard, doesn't need to be aggressive. You know he's gonna get you. He's just gonna take his time. He doesn't need to tell you like, I'm gonna fill all your holes. He's gonna do it later anyway. Yeah, doesn't need to say it's gonna happen. Because he exuded in such a different way. Because this is not how women respond to this. I mean, I don't know about gay guys. You want to be a gay guy? Probably gay guys respond very well to that. But we're talking male-female. We're talking heterosexual relationships. And if a girl actually responds to this, it's probably because she's a prostitute. Or it's probably because she wants something that has to do with money, and she doesn't necessarily want a long-term relationship. This is my thought on this. Then there's, of course, the objectification of women. And meaning that, if a woman is already there on the internet showing her body, well, she's just going to submit to whatever I say, right? She's already available. She's there.
She submits to the money.
Exactly.
Not the guy.
Exactly. And that's the honest truth. That's the blunt truth. And you can play that game if you want. If you guys have been to strip clubs, you know this. That like you say to the woman, "Oh, I love you. You're so beautiful." You throw some money. If you don't throw money, they don't come back and see you. They even give you this face. I think I got it. Yeah, that face.
Yeah, you got it.
That face of like disgust and you just like whatever. And they're very aggressive when you go to strip clubs too, because that's how they make their money. They fake liking you. They smile, they touch you at the beginning a little bit and all that. But then as soon as you say no, or you just want to drink your beer and see them, I mean, it shuts down. It completely shuts down. They're there to make money. They're not there to please you. They're there to please your money. That's it. Please your wallet.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to make a new episode about that.
About that? Okay, great. So, and I've been told this many times. Oh, Piper, you're submissive. Just do whatever I want. And that's going to make me happy. This is not submission. This is this is not how it goes. Domination is not just a guy yelling orders, and submission is not just a girl doing whatever you want without free will, without choice, without consent, without any of that. I mean, and for you not to take any responsibility as a dominant, to just do that, and I don't care how you feel. This is like, get a robot. Get ChatGPT. Because this is not how humans interact and how humans are in real life. Yeah. And porn has a lot to do with that. So, getting back to like money. Because there's like this thing with paid performance and real devotion. If you want a woman to really be devoted to you and admire you, of course, as a man in society, you need money. I mean, guys pay for things. That's how it is. Guys are the money makers. They are the men. And women want for you to pay on a first date. They do. They want for you to pay most things. They want for you to give them gifts. That's how women are. They want these romantic gestures. They do want that. And they expect for you to do it. So if you want to find a girl, yes, you will need to pay. That's a certainty. But there's still a line between someone on the internet wanting you to pay for her to get naked and to do whatever you want, and for a woman who truly loves and admires you or wants to have sex with you because you're providing these things, but you're also more than that. You're not just throwing money at her and then she feels like you're just throwing money at her and there's no like respect, worth, or there's no admiration coming from you. as a man. So you're just paying for that devotion. It's not real. It's fake. And I know like what I'm saying right here sounds like we're just gonna close all porn sites like right now. But this is not what I mean. All I mean is that it's not true domination and submission. You are paying for a show. Like when you watch Netflix, right? You're paying for a show. You're paying for Tom Cruise to jump off of a plane when you're watching Mission Impossible. It's great. It's fun. But if you go and see Tom Cruise right here, right now, and you tell him, Tom Cruise, take off all your clothes, I'm going to give you money. He's probably not going to do it. I mean, and if he does it, it's because he wants your money and it's going to be a great publicity stunt for him. But it's not because he respects you, or it's not because he's in love with you, or it's not because he admires you. You're just throwing money at the thing. That's it. And porn has done that, especially in camming, because the interaction is like right here, right now. And I feel like camming has kind of evolved now in the way that it's not camming anymore. We have sexting now, which is a lot more of a thing. There was the phone back in the day, but now it's very much so the sexting industry that is a bit like camming. So you sext and you get either custom videos, you get custom photos, you get this exchange, and you get money for it. And the girls is gonna say whatever you want. Whatever you want. They will do it. And I think that's why customs are such a big thing now. This hyper-personalization, these bespoke, this customization of your experience with a model, sex worker, or whatever, is really in right now. Because there's so much of the other stuff already that you want this personal connection to the person who is getting naked for you. You want more than that. I know men want more than that. They don't just want to throw money at some girl for her to say, oh yeah, I love you, when it's not real. I mean, you want to be desired, you want to be admired, you want all these things. But in real life, you want that to be real and not fake. You want real submission. You don't want fake submission, and you want to be a real dominant. You don't want to be a fake dominant. So all I'm warning against is that all the porn industry has done so far is teach men how to be like fake dominant, and teach women how to be fake submissives. And this is really bad. This is really bad for everything in society that we're living through right now. For gender roles, for female femininity, sexuality, sensuality, for males to be also admired and respected in all of these points. So real dominance would equal career. It would equal, yes, some money, but it would also include direction, purpose. It would include that you have some skills as a man. And money is part of that, but it isn't the main thing. Money will come when you're successful, when you're doing what you love in life, when you have found your purpose. And that is very important that you have some money, but it's not what's going to make a woman fall in love with you, especially not if you want a real relationship. And I hear them, all of them on the internet, saying, well, if I'm rich, just any girl's gonna marry me. Yeah, but have you heard about the emptiness of that?
You're gonna end up with any girl.
Exactly.
And you don't want that girl that it's any girl.
You don't want that any girl. You want a girl that truly admires, respects, and wants to be dominated by you because she trusts you, not because you're just giving her enough money to go buy another purse. I mean, this is not a relationship. This is online sex. This is what it is. There's no way that this can be real. I know, I've been in the industry for 11 years. Yeah, and I've been a happily submissive woman for all of that time that I've been in the industry. And most of the comments I would get were that. From some of the men's online. Not all men, but some of the men assuming that because, I'm a submissive woman, I could just do whatever. It's even easier that way. They won't have to prove their worth to me. They won't have to seduce me or to even try anything. They can just say, hey, Piper, you're submissive, so take off your clothes. Yeah, put one finger in your butt. All of these things.
Just one.
Just one. I mean, sometimes they start with just one, which is great. I mean, you work your way up to 3. And this is awful that porn destroyed male dominance when wasn't it supposed to be all about male and sexual awakening and for people to be able to have sex but also see sex in a different way, to consume sex that we can see visually, right, in video, in photo, in of course in literature too, but literature has been around for a lot longer. And then when the avenue of all the free sites, unfortunately, that stole and rip off everybody, even the consumer, came, then you could really try to find out what you wanted and see other people have sex and feel like, oh, maybe I'm not so different, or maybe my body's not that different from what I assumed. And that, I feel, is one of the greatest angle of porn. And that's why when I started doing pornography, I chose to do it with a man and with websites that for me were very different than the mainstream porn we were seeing. It was way more artistic, way more, I'm going to say, way more normal, way less like Hollywood and faked. So I think there was a lot of that in the amateur movement, like a lot of amateurs and a lot of people liked to watch amateur because it felt real, right? It felt like your home video. And it is exactly what it was. And it was beautiful. And then if a man was dominant with his wife or with his partner in that video, you could feel it was real and it wasn't faked. But for the rest of the online sex industry, most of it is exactly what it is. It's a business, it's an industry, and women will tell you whatever they want to tell you if they need to pay their rent this month. And men will give you however much money they will give you because they have it in their account right here, right now. And once they don't have any more, they won't. But they'll do that because they want to see you naked and they want this illusion of possession, this illusion of dominance. It makes them feel good to have that, although ephemeral in nature, especially when you're online. And there was a guy yesterday in the live chat when I was on OnlyFans, and he said exactly that. He was like, because we were asking for $5 per hand we dealt, okay? So it was $5 a pop, let's call it like that. And he gave $10.02. And I was like, why is there 2 cents there? why did OnlyFans not like round him up? And he said, oh, I just emptied what I had left. I have no more money now. Because that's what he had in his account, I guess his OnlyFans account. And then, well, he didn't give any more money because he emptied all of his money. So some man will empty all the money they got to see you naked in that way. And then they'll be like, okay, I don't have enough money maybe for, I don't know, for food and for rent this month. But they will have paid for this woman to pay her rent this month. And this is where like human nature and domination is still you can feel it. It's not real dominance and it's not real submission, but still, we're talking about a man paying for a woman's rent again. As if they were together, but not. Yeah, that being said, let's drop more comments here and now. Yeah, because we went a bit overtime. We do that sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so we take another 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll read the comments.
We're doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Leave some comments.
Leave some comments because we'll read the comments when we come back.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier?
All right. Now, that means that would a woman submit to a man in the way that she does on OnlyFans in real life? I do not think so. No, she wouldn't. And a man wouldn't exert this type of dominance in real life the way he tries to do it or does it on these forums and on OnlyFans and everywhere else. It doesn't go like that. And I mean, Rob says, I think she's raising some valid points. Well, thank you, Rob. And these are serious questions. Yeah, who runs around saying that, like Neva No says? And Sean Vine says, is the next book How to Find Your Wonderful Submissive Woman? Well, Sean, actually, my actual book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier, is my journey to how I met my master. So it goes over exactly how you can find a submissive woman, because it's my perspective on how I found my master, but also how he found me. As two people in the whole entire world, like finding each other for this type of relationship. So yes, it is about how to find your submissive woman. And I'm working on a booklet that will be available soon on happysubmissive.com. Yeah, and that is going to be kind of like the heart of how to do that. Yeah, because the book is a longer read. And it is about all those things that you haven't seen on the internet about Piper Blush. It's really like everything that I did not show on the internet is in the book. So Why Submissive Women Are Happier, like I say, is the 90% of the iceberg that's underwater. And so far, you've seen on the internet like the 10% of me. The one that I could show and that I was willing to show back there and then. Yeah.
We have a Q&A in. He's got a question. He's got a point. Q&A in. The last one.
I don't see them. They're like, can you read it?
Yeah. Sounds like the submissive women having several men pay for rent is actually the dominant one because she is getting support from all her clients. But is she really submissive?
That's the thing. So he's saying that she's dominating because she's using these men, but is she even dominating in that way that men are getting what they want? The woman is getting what she wants, and is it dominance? Is it submission? Can we call it like that?
We're gonna make an entire episode about like who are those girls who are.
Yeah. And what's the difference between these women that think that men providing means that they dominate?
All the findom girls.
Yeah, all the findom girls in that way. Because I feel that there's a really big difference between the type of content I do online. I just do the content I want, put it out there, and then people pay for it or not. And the girls that actively engage with men and that ask for money for something like custom videos, things like that, because then there's really this rapport and there's building and there's the psychology of having this kind of client, having this sort of boyfriend girlfriend experience, and it's sometimes really dark and really intense. So that's some types of subjects that we will go over in the podcast, Happy Submissive. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast, of course. And I have to say that to conclude this episode, porn did ruin dominance and submission, as much for men as for women. And it ruined it because right now we have a completely fake version of dominance and submission online versus a real version in the real world, and it's very hard to make these two match, or for these two to cohabitate, or for one to be like, oh, this is the educational purpose of the other one. And maybe, just maybe, this is an open question, but men are acting like that online because they're missing that dominance in real life. And that's just another channel to try to do it, because women are not being submissive enough in the real world. And that's just kind of a way to compensate. So because we have some compensation, it is getting to extremes that we are unable to enact in real life. They can only be lived in or dealt with in the virtual world. So I'm Marian de la Croix, also known as Piper Blush. You are listening to the Happy Submissive podcast. Make sure that you subscribe or that you turn on your notifications. It is broadcasted live on YouTube from Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then on Sunday, we have the Sunday brunch, which is a longer format and a lot more interactive, meaning that you are able to send questions, I answer them, or other people in the live chat will answer them. So make sure you're there for that. Until next time, go to happysubmissive.com to be informed about, the movement, the podcast, and everything that's happening in the Happy Submissive universe.
Down and you'll find peace in chains of gold. You're released, a pretty smile a silent song. Is this where we all belong?